think all of us know Marcia really well. She is a massage therapist. She is our fellowship minister. And ever since Lanier retired, she's been a big part of the glue that's kept our congregation together. So let's welcome Reverend Marsh Mitchiner, when she tells us the way we were, are, and can be.
I first would like to apologize to Jan for not paying attention to what you said.
Give the microphone closer. Thank you. Thank you.
I was apologizing to Jan for not paying attention when she was talking. I had just read one of the quotes that Edith had put into the bulletin, and it was kind of running through my mind, and so I apologize, Jan, for not paying attention.
That quote is still so appropriate today. Yeah, Martin Luther King.
The way we were, are, and can be. This is our 50th year that we are celebrating. So with that in mind, I thought back to how did we begin? And of course, that leads me to think about the one and only Reverend R. Lanier Clamps. Lanier was a light. He was a voice. He was someone who was willing to stand up and to take chances and be there front and center, authentic. He was full of knowledge, and he had questions about everything, compassion, for others. In 1976, he took a step into the unknown. He wanted to form a community of caring people, a group of people that were willing to be open to ask questions like, why am I and others happy, angry, sad, and fearful? Not only why, but how can I move through and forward in life to be my better self, to support others in their journey? How do I open myself to new possibilities? How can I sing and dance in spite of what is going on around me? How do I stand up against injustice, racism, sexism, homophobia? How can I make a difference? With these ideas in mind, and the existential philosophy that was at his core as a resource, Lanier invited others to join him in his home to come and have something to eat, to share with one another, to discuss ideas, to be curious, to ask questions. Together, they would create a loving and spiritual community. And thus was the birth of the first existentialist congregation church at the time of Atlanta. Webster defines spirit as an animating or vital principle held to give life to physical organisms, to give life to spiritual organisms. And we are a spiritual community. Lanier opened a door to feeding our spirit, growing stronger, changing the world around us. That was 50 years ago. And look at us now. What we've accomplished, individually and collectively. The first existentialist church, as it was originally called and then became congregation, exists today as an organization and community because of Lanier and those who shared his dreams. Pauline Rose Clements, Nancy Zumal, Susan Otson, Jean Heinrich, Betsy Henderson, Roger Presley, Sharon Mathis, Al and Betty Jo Olmsted. These are our founders. As word spread, others soon joined. It got too big to be in his house, so they moved to the Y. First, he offered a place of refuge, a place of healing, growing, becoming stronger without a dogma, without a set of rules that says, this is how you should behave. It provided an opportunity to find their own answers. Lanier quoted Sartre, Camus, de Beauvoir, Susan B. Anthony, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Gloria Steinem, Rue, Bernard Ruskin, Bell Hooks, Mary Oliver, Maya Angelou. He didn't take his inspiration from one place. You know, he looked around and at the diversity that there was in this world and what he could learn, you know, from others. He talked about topics that ran the gamut from politics to personal relationships. Even talked about sex. You know, nothing was really off limits if it involved human contact, human relationships, human interaction, the way that we communicate with one another, the way that we develop, you know, as an individual. And we do this within community. You know, that was what Lanier was building, was, and the others were creating, was a community where you could do these things. In those early years, people were dealing with the toll, the challenges, the rewards of the civil rights movement, the gay rights movement, the women's movement. We were also dealing with the aftermath of the Vietnam War, and we're still dealing with the aftermath of the Vietnam War and the Iran War, and will it ever end? Over the years, in fact, the decades, people have come to First Dean as you are. You give what you can. You accept what you can. You take what you can. You participate as you can. There are no rules in terms of how you are a part of this congregation. We moved into and paid for this incredible building. I mean, this is, we were so lucky that we were able to, number one, find this place. Number two, to be able to purchase it. At least we purchased it with a huge loan. And it took us years to pay it off. But it is paid off because each of us, throughout the years, have made a commitment and a dedication, to supporting the congregation and what it stands for. We created our own songbook, the Robert Lanier Clance Woodland Sanctuary out back, the wonderful new Robert Stewart Amphitheater over here. Personally, we actually painted the walls. We refinished the floor. We cleaned out that alcove, I bet, over 100 times. And I'm sure we'll do it another 100 times. We've hosted concerts and dances, book signings and clubs and workshops, discussion groups, art shows, incredible art that we have on our wall each Sunday. And it brings creativity and joy, into our hearts, into this place. The energy that it brings, adds to the energy that we bring. We've marched in pride and MLK parades. We've donated money and goods to local and regional needs. We've rallied for equal rights and democratic values. We've protested and gone to jail. I know Lanier went to jail a number of times when they were trying to make the parkway go through the camera park area. And was part of a group called Road Busters. And other things that we've protested throughout the years, and recently, one or two of our members have gone to jail for protesting Cop City. There's always something. We're always going to face something, that we need to stand up for against the injustice that it represents. We've done all of this while listening to Lanier and others to speak their truth. From up here, speaking their truth. And as they do that, we listen, we question, we understand, we learn, and we develop more of our own truth. My truth and your truth. Existentialism emphasizes individual freedom and choice, but we don't live in a vacuum. In community, we find the opportunity for authentic relationships which help us expand and grow. Within community, we have the opportunity to learn things about ourselves, about the world, and others. We listen, we debate, we experience, we make choices, we expand our vision. The communities that we become part of reflect our needs and our values. I believe that healthy communities promote meaningful engagement, dialogue that respects diverse perspectives and experiences. Healthy communities empower individuals to explore and find their purpose. I hope some of this is ringing true when you are thinking about your relationship with First E. I see First E as the embodiment of hope. The embodiment of hope. A lighthouse. A place that provides comfort and support, opportunity, and growth. First E is what we, each of you out there, and myself and others before us, make it. We are the lighthouse. Take that in. We are the lighthouse. Our foundation is strong, and we are its stewards. I look across the sanctuary and I recognize most of you. What brought you here? And yet, even more important, what keeps you here? Why do you come back? Yeah. Why do you join us on Sunday morning? What is it that you get from being a part of this community? Why have you stayed? Each of us has our own unique history, our personal story that influences our choices. You have chosen to be part of a community at whatever level is comfortable for you, without sacrificing yourself. You become part of a whole that provides a framework that stimulates our curiosity and creativity, supports our needs and goals, encourages our authenticity, our courage, and willingness to step outside our comfort zone, to take risk, to be our better selves. Be our better selves. We are, each of us. We are the first existentialist congregation of Atlanta. We are the lighthouse. Maya Angelou wrote, "Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better." That, I think, is one of the reasons that I come to 30. Is that I know that I have my own personal baggage. I know I have my own internal struggles. And I come here And I listen to speakers. I develop relationships with others that are here, and I listen to your story. I feel your joy. I feel your sadness. I feel your pain. That makes me a better person. It expands my vision. It expands my understanding of the world. I cannot imagine a place that I would rather be. I had hoped to be able to present our new Book of the Dead. Those of you who've been here for a long time know that we used to have a very large book where people could write messages or statements and names of those that were important to them that had passed. And somehow or other, that is kind of disappeared. It's somewhere. We'll find it one of the days. But in the meantime, having some place, to be able to write down the names of people who have influenced our lives. People whose shoulders that we stand. That's important. So I will find that. I will find that book and bring it, so that we can put the names in there of those that whose lives were very meaningful to us. In reference to our 50 years of existence. And I think about Lanier Clements. I think about Robert Stewart. I think about Pat Hewitt. I think about Charlotte Salmons. There's so many people that have been a part of what has made this congregation strong. And now it's our turn. Now we are the ones who keep it going. We are the ones